Thank you for that kind introduction. Board members, I'd like to review the four proposals with you in detail. The first is the Metropolitan Care Contract. Our accountants have been concerned that we're losing money. They think we may be losing $1.6 million. So the question is, are we indeed losing $1.6 million? Should we continue the contract, or we should take the option of expanding our contract by 30%? To understand, I need to go over some of the figures with you. Under the current contract, we have a revenue of $14 million, less $9,000 in variable and direct costs, yielding $4.9 million in contribution to the margin. However, when we deduct the allocated indirect costs, we have a loss of $1.6 million. However, if we cancel this contract, those indirect costs of $6.5 million don't disappear. They will continue. And actually, we will lose an additional $5.9 million if we cancel the contract. As you can see from this graph, if we cancel the contract, we'll have no revenue, and we'll lose the $5.8 million we made last year. We can continue the current contract, or we can expand the contract and make an additional $2.1 million. So I think it's very obvious that we should keep the contract and even expand it for the next year. Our second proposal was to merge two nursing units. We have nursing units A and nursing units B. Each one is only 50% occupied. If we merge the two units and create a 30-bed unit, we will increase to 73% occupancy, and we can markedly decrease our overhead. Currently, each of the units has a full-time nursing supervisor and a clerk and separate supply areas. By merging the two units, we can get by with only one nursing supervisor, one clerk, and one supply area. We can save over $1 million in nursing salaries alone, plus additional savings in supply costs, direct costs, and even some indirect costs. So by doing this proposal, we can save $1.4 million. Number three, we have been offered a new elderly care contract. It's not very profitable, but it's incremental income. They're offering us a per diem contract, which based on our most recent information, should yield an additional profit of $2,400 per patient. And they plan on sending us 1,000 patients over the next year, averaging 6 days per admission. This will produce an increase in 6,000 hospital days and an additional revenue of $2.4 million. This is clearly a benefit to the hospital as long as we have excess capacity. It would not be a good contract if we were running at 95 or 100% capacity, because then we wouldn't be able to admit our more profitable patients. Now we have to look at focused expense cuts. Last year, we had expenses of over $440 million, an increase of 6%, despite only a 5% increase in revenue and 10% less hospital days. There's clearly room to reduce some of these expenses. But to do it, we need to enlist the support of our staff. We need to involve them, we need to listen to them, and we need to incorporate them in our committees. I propose that we form a task force to review these expenses. They must first identify the cause of the 6% expense increase last year. Number two, they should come up with some systems to reduce our staff overtime and use of registry. We can't continue to pay 50% to 75% above our standard hourly rate for nursing. Number 3, there's potential savings in supply costs, especially for expensive medical devices, such as joints and pacemakers. To do that, we're going to need to involve the use of the input from our physicians to choose one supplier instead of multiple suppliers. In addition, we're going to incorporate our staff to identify sources of inefficiency and waste. Together, we can come up with $6 million in savings by reducing these expenses. On this pie chart, I can illustrate how we can save money by expanding the Metropolitan Care contract, by merging 2 nursing units, accepting the new elderly care contract, and reducing expenses by $6 million. I would now like to turn the meeting over to our chairman of the board to conclude our meeting. Thank you. Off. Did you press the button off?